Well, hello there in the afternoon. My name is Curtis, and I am here to unbox an Epic collection. And yeah, there's a lot going on. Um, there's let me see here, not just this one box that's an Epic collection, but I have this bigger box right here. And just as we're waiting for a few more people to join the stream, I'm going to open up this box before we get to the Epic collection, just so we can see what it is. It is a large box, and the book inside isn't as large as I think the box warrants, but it's nice that they did it because we did get it looks like it got dropped on the corner here, so I'm assuming there's a lot of packaging going on here. So how are you doing where you are today? Looks like we have a lot of people on. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. Some of the regular crew, nice to see you all. This is not a comic, a superhero comic. It is a comic. Has nothing to do with comic books and a lot to do with comic strips. Wow, it's a lot bigger than I thought, actually. Holy cow. This is Alley-Oop 1939 to 1942. This is a newspaper comic strip. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought this was going to be, maybe uh, a third of this, two-thirds of the size or something. I don't know. But um, if you haven't heard of this before, Alley-Oop is a caveman comic strip. Awesome, that's great. Um, Alley-Oop is a caveman comic strip, and it's all about this guy. His name is Alley-Oop, and he has adventures in his caveman world with his caveman friends and his caveman girlfriend, and with the rival caveman uh, gang that's in the next neighborhood over. But in 1939, this inventor created a time machine in modern day, which at the time was 1939, and sent him and brought Alley-Oop to the present. And from then on, the comic strip changed completely to being a time travel caveman comic strip. And so all throughout the comic strip, he t- uh, time travels to different points in history. As you can see here, he's in this is the medieval times, ancient Egypt, um, ancient Greece, and you know, the pirate age, whatever that's supposed to be. Um, there's the back cover. Now, this comic strip is still running today, just by different people, and this is a collection of 4 years. And so there's one guy that has been producing these books, and he's been producing them by himself, like self-publishing, and he just releases them on through his own Amazon store. And usually he does just 1 year at a time, but for this one, he decided to do 4 years of a time, just because it is more cost effective because of the sheer size of it to do all four in one volume. So this was a hefty volume. I had to save up some gift cards and such to get this because it was $100, but well worth it because four of these books are, $25 each, so it works out to about the same price. It's just all at once. There's the spine, but V.T. Hamlin is the creator, and he is an incredible cartoonist. And these pictures don't do it justice because once you get into the nitty gritty of the actual action and adventure, he is just such a fun storyteller. Uh, so this guy that has produced these books, his name is Chris Arufo, and he's done a bunch of them so far. This is a question: is this volume one? It's not volume one. The strip started in 1931, I think. So technically, I guess this is volumes 7, 8, 9, and 10, if you want to go by year. But the nice thing about newspaper comic strips is that you don't have to start at volume one. They're meant to be picked up at any point and just dive right in. And so, because Alley-Oop started in 1931 and is going to present day, you don't need to start with volume one. You can start with any year you want, and you'll get thrown into a nice adventure with Alley-Oop and the gang, and it's just really fun. Yeah, this is a hefty book, but I can't wait to read that. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. I have read 1939 before, that whole year, because that's the year that time travel started. But I haven't read the rest of that book, so it'll be nice to check that out. Lots of questions here. Oh, we got some. uh, Makes me want to start singing that song "Alley Oop." Yeah, that was a pretty popular song back in the day. You're a newspaper strip guy. Just got the three Mandrake hardcovers the Titan put out a while ago. Gorgeous book. Shame they didn't do well enough to get more. Yeah, comic strips are a very, very small market, so you have to be willing to take a loss a lot of the time on those, unfortunately. Looks like we have two epic collections in here today. Let's take a look. Um, Good afternoon from Albuquerque in Cleveland. Nice. Part work comics readers working on picking up the Modesty Blaze paperback line from Titan, but those have gotten pricey now. I've got a few of those, but yeah, you're right. They have gone up in price, and that's a strip that needs to be redone uh, in a nice format. That'd be great. Okay, two epic collections. The first is Amazing Spider-Man: The Return of the Sinister Six. This is volume 21. This is a new printing because this book came out quite a number of years ago, and it features Amazing Spider-Man 334 to 350, plus a graphic novel called Spider-Man Spirits of the Earth by Charles Vess. This is if you want to see a beautiful Spider-Man comic, he does some really, really lovely artwork. I should move my camera over here so we can see it a little bit better. Charles Vess is usually like a fantasy illustrator and comic writer, I mean, comic artist, and so the fact that he gets to do superheroes every once in a while is very special. Charles Vess did a lot of covers for Spectacular Spider-Man back in the 70s, so a lot of fun. Majority of this book is the Eric Larson era of Spider-Man, and I always remember Eric Larson because he does these Doctor Octopus with the incredibly long and tangled up arms. That was kind of his thing. He put Doctor Octopus in the white suit, and this whole Return of the Sinister Six storyline, if you can believe it, this is the 90s, and the Sinister Six hadn't been seen since the Ditko era when they first debuted. So this is literally the return, the first return, and Doctor Octopus puts together a new team of Sinister Six. Some of the old people return, like Vulture, and some of the new people, some of the newer villains, like Shocker, make an appearance. This was this whole thing was sort of an homage to the original Spider-Man annual that they when they first appeared. But yeah, this is great. The original printing of this didn't have any big issues or anything like that. It just sold out, and so they are bringing it back, and it all looks nice and sharp, just like it did in the original printing. So if you have the original printing, maybe you don't need to get on with this one. But if you don't have the original printing, here's your chance to get it. Spider-Man epics tend to go out of print pretty fast. Here's Rhino and Cardiac, not on the Sinister Six, just another story here. And of course, we get a Venom story, one of the early Venom appearances here. Um, there, isn't that great? This is one of my favorite stories of with Venom. It's the one where Peter and Eddie fight on an island, and this is the also the story where famously Eddie or Venom gets his big chin because Eric Larson apparently misunderstood one drawing that Todd McFarlane did, and so he thought that's how he was supposed to be. Doctor Doom makes an appearance here. Phil, what are you saying no to? You saying no to the 90s? No to Eric Larson's Spider-Man? Marvel will release Amazing Spider-Man 16 last just to troll us. They probably will. Now that it's become a thing, they're just gonna keep that going, right? 21, pretty close to 16. Did you get the Amazing Spider-Man 19 reprint yet? 19? What volume is 19? I'm getting all my numbers confused. Assassination. Yes, I did get that one. And it's really nice. They corrected some of the um moire pattern issues that they had in that first printing. So let's see here. Still working, but I can get distracted for a few minutes. Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Eric Larson era. Love it. Is there any change on the cover? No change. The cover is exactly the same spine box. There is no change to the cover whatsoever, unless I think they stopped putting the registered trademark symbol on Spider-Man. So the other one might have had that. But other than that, it's the same. The printing actually looks maybe a little bit darker on the cover, but it's the same logo and everything, as far as I know. Uh, oh, Phil says, "Isn't it great about Venom?" And the answer is no, it's not great. With the new Epic Collection printings, do you tend to keep the newer printings or the older ones? That is a case by case situation. If at all possible, I try to keep the original printings, but if the new printing just is correcting a mistake or just has better printing or whatever, then I will keep the newer printing. But generally, I try to keep the old the original one. This is the new one for coming out in the second week of July. Let me just get that date for you here. July the 9th. This is the 380th Epic Collection, if my counting is correct. 380 Epic Collections, not counting reprints, but definitely counting Star Wars and Conan and all that. Thor Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 1, Reborn from Ragnarok. Uh, at this point, Thor was believed to be dead, and so this is a brand new jumping on point for Thor. It brings him into the modern era. J. Michael Straczynski is the writer, and here's the back cover if you want to see. Glory of Asgard begins anew. Fantastic Four numbers 536 to 537. It's a two-part story that brings back Thor, and then Thor the 2007 series numbers 1 to 12 plus 600. It got renumbered when it hit that milestone back to its original numbering. And material from Dark Reign, the Cabal one shot. Okay, let's see inside here. Some really nice. I like the choices here. Mike McCone does the artwork in these early issues, and so of course we're going to pick up the pieces. Sorry, no, Mike McCone is a Fantastic Four artist. Who is this artist? Um, Olivier Coipel. That's right. Olivier Coipel does that. So yeah, Fantastic Four had Mike McCone as the artist with J. Michael Straczynski writing, which is why I think they uh, brought him back in that story, in the Fantastic Four story. So let's see here. Let's get to the Thor issues. There we are. Nice double page spread of Thor. Oh no, that's actually two images. It just has the same purple background. Um, nice cover. Small town. Who said that they're from Cleveland? This is the era where Oklahoma, not Cleveland. Yeah, they're Asgard is taking up residence floating above Oklahoma, and that's kind of a cool story point right there. So I haven't read a whole lot of this. I've read the first couple issues, I think, but it'll be good to dive into this. A lot of people love this run of Thor, and so it makes sense that they're going to launch the modern era Thor Epic Collection with this era. I think a lot of people really want the Jason Aaron era, the Aaron era to show up in Epic collections at some point as well, which I would too. That's an era that I have read, and it is a great story. Really liked that. That star sure looks familiar. Don't know anything about this. Assemble. Yeah, looks great. This is a lot of fun. Oh, my favorite mini Marvels. Let's see, what kind of bonus features do we have in here? We have all of the covers to every issue of Thor and Journey into Mystery, including Journey into Mystery, not just the Thor issues, all of Journey into Mystery. This was part of the issue 600 spectacular, I assume. And then some sketches. That's nice. By Olivier Coipel. And some articles from Marvel Spotlight. There's a Michael Turner Thor and an Arthur Sudyam Thor. Um, yeah, lots of different pinups, variant covers and such. J. Scott Campbell. That's a lot of variant covers. And then what's next in the modern era Epic Collection line? It's Deadpool and Cable coming out in a couple weeks, or sorry, a couple weeks after this one. And yeah, so there we go. Let's see. Howard the Duck and Superman from Cleveland. Cleveland, you're thinking of Howard the Duck. Yeah, you're right. I am. Do you think that they'll put out more than one classic Amazing Spider-Man epic per year? They already do. They put out 2 per year. They've been very consistent about that, putting out 2 per year. So, yes, um, that is how they've been pretty much from the beginning, which is why we have over 20 volumes of Amazing Spider-Man in just 10 years. Um, so yes, they will continue to put out more than one classic Amazing Spider-Man epic per year. Aaron had completes a year or 2 ago, yes, so I think it'll be a while. Yeah, it's you're probably right. They'll give it a little bit of time, which is why they're focusing on this era, which is a little bit more out of print, and we'll get through this one first. So because this one starts in 2006, that means that the classic era Thor is going to go through Heroes Reborn and Heroes Return, the Dan Jurgens era, and go right up to the point where Thor, quote unquote, dies. I assume in that last volume there. So that'll be the classic because this is obviously volume one. Everything before this can't be modern unless they do a volume zero, which would be kind of weird. Jason Aaron would presumably be a straight reskin of the complete collections. Not sure if they skipped Thor's since that was a Secret Wars mini. Yeah, I don't know if they did or not. Um, but yeah. Sorry, just got here. What volume is this? This is volume one of Thor Modern Era Epic Collection. Um, the Jason Aaron ones might be a reskin, but they didn't include the event War of the Realms, which I understand because they aren't including any of the major events in these paperbacks. But they did include War of the Realms in the Jason Aaron omnibus. So, which is like that's the conclusion to Jason Aaron's massive story. Like all of it leads to that event. So if they just end the last epic collection with nothing on a cliffhanger with a little text box saying, "Hey, it's everything's okay. Everything got resolved." The end. Then that would kind of be a drag. My bigger question is, how are they going to deal with the Jane Foster and Unworthy Thor stuff? Because those titles kind of ran at the same time, and then there was like the King Thor era and everything, like all of that stuff. Will they put it all into one epic collection altogether? That'd be kind of interesting. Thor Classic will end with Avengers Disassembled crossover. Nice ending for that era. Yeah, is that how long Thor was away? I don't recall. Yeah, okay, sure. There's the spine, Thor on the spine there. This one's good. This is a good book. Um, I think that, wanna see inside some more? Nice big modern action, modern comic book. Oh, I showed you that page already. Modern everything. Modern costume. Some people, some people like their comics to look a little bit more classic. This one looks like a lot of fun. I don't mind it at all. We have some Iron Man action in this one. Here's a good question. Do you know approximately how long or how many issues J.M. DeMatteis's Captain America run went for? It's as far as Epic Collections is concerned, it starts in the second half of Dawn's Early Light, which is volume 9. Uh, and that's not technically the start of J.M.D. Mateus's run. He had done a graphic novel, and they split it into 3 parts, into 3 issues, and just put that out. But then after that, he became a regular writer for a little while, and that ran through 2 more volumes, I believe. Let me just double check here. Monsters and Men, Volume 10. Sturm und Drang from was his Volume 11. And that's it, because the Society of Serpents starts with Mike Carlin and goes into the Mark Gruenwald run. So yeah, 2 full volumes of J.M. DeMatteis, and then a short story before that. There we go. Oh, everybody's here. Steven's here. The Kryptonite Kid says, "Wow, Thor, awesome, just what I needed." Yeah, so this one's coming out July 9. So if you are planning your budget, then stick this one on the schedule there. It's nice to have so many different characters represented now in the modern era Epic collections. This this list of modern era Epic collections is going to look like this one in no time. Look how many Epic collections. I love it. I love how much it is. Like I said, this Thor one is Epic number 380. So we are approaching 400 Epic collections pretty soon. That is absolutely incredible. When we first started this line, started collecting this line 10 years ago, I don't think any of us imagined 400 volumes later. Partly because we thought that we were only getting 6 different character titles, but his line has rapidly expanded since then, and it's just incredible. For those of you who have jumped on since the beginning, um, to be able to have a pretty comprehensive Marvel library in your own house, it's just wild. And now we're watching it happen again with DC Finest. So uh will that be the equivalent? Will we have the same sort of satisfaction with those ones as we do with Epic collections? I don't know. Guess we'll find out. It won't be too much longer because the first one's coming out in November. That's, if you think about it, just like a few months away. Well, 4 months away, right? June. No, we're not even in June yet. June, July, August, September, October. So we still have a little bit of time to wait. Yeah, there you go. Looking forward to picking this one up. Loved that run when it came out. That's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I read Fantastic Four through this era, so I remember those Thor issues, the Fantastic Four Thor issues, but I do not recall very much of the actual Thor stuff. I think I read some of it on Marvel Unlimited, but didn't get too far. So yeah, now's my chance to catch up. And then in volume Kryptonite Kid says it's already June 1st, wherever you are. Must be on the other side of the world. Well, I'm glad you are already in June. We still have several hours of May left over here still. Second volume of Thor is coming in December. It's called Siege on Asgard, and that has the Siege storyline, which is not going to include the actual Siege miniseries, but everything leading up, and I think some of that come after that. But that's coming in December. So we don't have too long to wait for the second half of this story. That's very cool. Um, awesome. When Hawkeye 3 lands next year, I'll have 6 Hawkeye thick trades on the shelf. If someone had said that a few years ago, I would have laughed. Yeah, no kidding. Who knew that Hawkeye was going to be so popular? I'll correct you though, because Hawkeye 4 is actually the one that lands next year, not Hawkeye 3. They decided to skip that one, which is the rest of the Avengers Spotlight series. Is the Siege storyline in trade paperback? Yes. In fact, just a couple months ago, it was recently reprinted, so it should be readily available in stores for those who want it, which is great because once they launched the modern era Epic collections, a lot of these first volumes are they all surround the Siege storyline. I'm thinking of Loki and Dark Avengers, and pretty soon we'll get to that era with new Avengers, I think, and then this volume here as well. So you pick yourself up the Siege storyline trade paperback because it will fit nicely on your shelf with these modern era Epic collections. If you are able to have more time to post more podcast episodes, do you plan to start doing ones for modern era epics, and which ones would you start with? Um, well, first of all, I don't expect myself to have very much time in the near future at all. It's life is busy. Um, I think that if I were, I don't know that I would do modern era because there are so many podcasts that deal with modern era Marvel comics, and not as many that deal with classic era. So I would still jump back into the classic. Um, but if I were to start, it's a good question. Maybe I really enjoyed New Avengers, and I mean, Spider Girl would be a shoe-in because that has a very classic feel. That would work. What else is there? Oh, Daredevil, that would be really good. Daredevil or I don't know, Venom. I really like the Agent Venom. So I would maybe start with some of those volumes. There you go. What have you missed? You haven't missed much. You missed this, and you missed this reprint of Amazing Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six, Volume 21. Those are the two new epics in this stream here. I did talk about another book that's not Marvel related at the beginning of the stream, and you can circle back. Marvel should make sure the event trade paperbacks are in print when it's important to a certain epic collection volume so that you can have the full experience. 100% agree. Do you think we could see Howard the Duck Epic Collections? It's been a while since the Masterworks came out. Yeah, so those all came out as complete collections, the whole classic run of Howard the Duck in 4 complete collections. Some of those I think you can find still. Some of them are getting pretty hard to find. But once they are fully out of print, they very well could bring that back. I think a lot of the reason why they got pumped out in the first place is because of Howard the Duck's cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy. So if Howard the Duck, because there was a lot of chatter about him at the time, if Howard the Duck makes a splash on the big screen again, then I think they'll definitely push them towards Epic Collections, but we'll have to see. Oh, I see what you're saying. Hawkeye 4 is this year, and then the rest of Spotlight with Volume 3 is next year. I thought you were referring to the next volume, but yeah, you're right. And in fact, that makes the whole comment make more sense because you're saying 6 volumes of Hawkeye, assuming there will be another Hawkeye Epic Collection next year as well. So, or Hawkeye thick trades. I guess you can count the Matt Fraction run in there as well. There's also a Hawkeye the Saga of Kate Bishop. That one's a thick trade if you count Kate as Hawkeye. What you said. I mean, that's her name. Still waiting patiently for Punisher Epic Collections. Yeah. Oh, reprints. Yeah, that would be nice to get some more reprints. Um, but some more just volumes of Punisher would be great too. That line is stalled for a few years now. It'd be good to have them coming back. There you go. Okay, let me see here. I need to pick up that Spider-Man Epic. Then I just need Venom and Cosmic Adventures, and you're all caught up. That's great. Just two, hey. Um, Venom will probably come back at some point. That one, I think, maybe even got voted again. I don't remember if it did or not. But it looks like we don't have any more Spider-Man reprints for the rest of this year. Um, so you're gonna have to wait a little while longer. Okay. I'm going to log off. This was a great live stream. I appreciate all of you who have joined me here. Do me a favor and hit that like button on the YouTube video just to help me out. And I saw this, where's that comment that came from? Steven the Shaggy Warrior. Congratulations on 3,000 subscribers. Truly one of the nicest people I've come to know off the Facebook group. Yeah, thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. Yeah, we hit 3,000 a couple days ago. Really nice. Still not the numbers of like, near mint who are in the tens of thousands, but we're growing. Spread the word. Um, Liking the video helps with that. Subscribing helps push the algorithm so that people who have similar interests see the videos as well. It's how it works. Um, but in the meantime, I will just keep on doing what I'm doing, plugging away here, and I appreciate all of you. And thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great afternoon.